Section 4 of Harper's Young People, Volume 1, Issue 6, December 9th, 1879. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Betty B. Harper's Young People, Volume 1, Issue 6, December 9th, 1879. Goldfish. Sometime during the 17th century, about 200 years ago, Portuguese sailors saw swimming in the lakes and rivers of China and Japan a very beautiful variety of fish, which glistened like gold. They captured some specimens and brought them to Portugal. The little fish found the lakes of Europe as pleasant to live in as the lakes of China, and they at once domesticated themselves and raised their little families, until the European streams became well stocked with these beautiful creatures. They are also found in many brooks and streams in the United States. The glistening gold color of these fishes made them much sought for as household ornaments, and the demand for them became so general that establishments were opened for raising them for market. One of the largest and most celebrated of these places for goldfish breeding is in Oldenburg, Germany, where more than 100 small ponds contain the fish in all stages of growth, from the tiniest baby to the big stout fellow 8 and even 10 inches long. The little ones are carefully kept apart from larger ones, for the goldfish is a wicked cannibal, and devours its little brothers and sisters, and even its own children, whenever it has an opportunity. At the same time, it is a great coward, and will hide away from fish much smaller than itself that have the spirit to attack it. A gentleman who possessed an aquarium in which were several large goldfish once placed a tiny pumpkin seed, or sunfish, about the size of a silver $half in the water. Watching anxiously to see that the goldfish did not injure it, what was his astonishment to see the pumpkin seed dart furiously at the larger fish, which huddled themselves in a corner, or scurried hastily through the water to hide among the stones and mimic grottos of the aquarium. From that moment the pumpkin seed remained lord of the field, scarcely allowing his companions to come to the surface as they are fond of doing, or to take a mouthful of food until he had satisfied his own hunger. Finally, he had to be removed from the aquarium to save the goldfish from dying of fright. The enormous demand for goldfish is shown by the fact that from the establishment at Oldenburg alone, over 300,000 fish are sent to market every year. Their price varies according to their size and beauty, for there are grades of beauty in goldfish as well as in all other things. They are very pretty household ornaments, and by caring for them and carefully watching their habits, boys and girls may learn their first lesson in natural history. If kept in a glass globe, nothing can be more interesting than to watch them, for, as Mr. White says in Selborne, the double refraction of the glass and water represents them, when moving in a shifting and changeable variety of dimensions, shades, and colors, while the two mediums, assisted by the concavo-convex shape of the vessel, magnify and distort them vastly. Still, the fish may be healthier if kept in an aquarium, as it allows more surface to the water, and consequently more air and ventilation. In any case, fresh water should be given the fish at least every other day, and if the globe or aquarium be ornamented with rocks and water grasses, the fish should be carefully dipped out once a week and the rocks thoroughly cleansed from all impurities. Although the fish draw nourishment from animalcules supplied by the water, and will live a long time without other food, it is advisable to feed them by throwing breadcrumbs or flies and other small insects on the surface of the water. The eagerness with which they dart for them proves them to be welcome. Care should be taken not to scatter more breadcrumbs than will be immediately eaten, for bread sours very quickly and renders the water impure. In changing the water, the fish should never be subjected to any sudden variation of temperature, as the shock produced by a violent change from water of medium temperature, which is always best, to ice cold, might ruin the whole stock of an aquarium in an instant. The ingenious Chinese make great pets of their goldfish, and with patience teach them many tricks, such as eating from their hands, or rushing to be fed at the tinkle of a bell. The goldfish belongs to the genus Cyprinus, or the great carp family, and is sometimes called the golden carp. End of section 4.